I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. NFL Week 3 on today. Saturday was fun. Special shout out to San Diego State, man. Nothing will get your day back on track like a plus 450 money line. That'll certainly help the score sheet. That was crazy. They beat the hell.
Did they shut them out?
Yeah, I turned it off when I think it was 27-0.
Yeah, okay.
They were beating the hell out of 14-point dogs. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously we got 14 NFL games on today. We're going to go through them all. I do have a bunch of bets. Do any of them have an edge? Probably not. Welcome to the NFL. But hey, we're going to give it our best shot here. Yeah, Toasta, would you sweep the board yesterday?
It was, yeah, pretty. I mean, I didn't sweep the board, but I mean, between tailing college football and baseball, I swept the board in baseball. I won like 5 of my 6 college football bets. So yeah, like 11-1 or something like that. It was crazy.
I spent the last 20 minutes making kicker prop graphics.
I knew you were gonna be pissed off. I
Dude,
felt so
he
bad.
sent like 9 of them, like literally 9 kicker props. I was sitting there making graphics, like,
and I have notes on every single one of them.
Am I supposed to be impressed that you have notes on them?
Yes, thank you.
Steve, how was your week, man?
It's good, man. Yeah, I'm ready to roll for week 3 on a little heater in baseball. Finally, it's been a cold streak for a while, but I just needed like 140 games of data. Now I feel like I'm really locked into baseball, you know. So it's a grind. But I'm a Mariners fan, so all is well over here right now.
Yeah, a couple big wins for the Mariners. Locked into baseball just feels like a prison sentence. It's all right. 14 games. Steve, what's up in the first one? Titans, Colts.
Oh, you're going to go to me. I didn't. Toast, are you going to the Titans bar there in Alaska? Do you watch this?
I'm not going to the Titans bar, but I am betting the Titans as well. So I think everybody up here is betting the Titans personally.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I have quick 2 trends I want to point out. Titans haven't covered the spread at home since November of 2024, which is crazy.
0-9.
Underdogs in the AFC South, they went 11-1 ATS last year. They're 45-27 since 2019. Best of any division. So if there's a division to tail some underdogs, this is the one. But I have a lean and a best bet. And actually, I don't even know if I sent this lean into you, Kyle, but it's a Titans plus 2.5 in the first half. I actually like this one over the full game. I haven't bet it yet, but I don't know if it's more scripted drives or what it is, but the Titans have played a lot better in that first half. In fact, in the first half this year, week 1, Titans were down 10-9 against the Broncos at halftime. Then they ended up losing, obviously. Week 2, Titans were actually up 13-10 at halftime against the Rams. They lost 33-19 in that game. Usually, you know, you see the better team pull away and all that, and maybe they keep this one close full game. Obviously, Ward and this offense have a long ways to go. But as for the Colts, they played well, obviously. But this is their first road game away from that cozy dome that they play in. I think they come out a bit flat here. Total for this first half, 21.5, expecting a lower scoring first half. I got a desperate 0-2 Titans team. Again, plus 2.5. If you want to take them on the money line, I don't mind that. But I do like them in the first half. But my best bet this game is Elik and Ayumanar. I don't know how to pronounce it. Over 35.5 receiving yards. This rookie's looked really good in the first 2 weeks. The key here is that he's been heavily involved. In week 1, he had 7 targets. In week 2, he had 6 targets. So 13 targets through 2 total weeks. That's the same as guys like Cortland Sutton, Justin Jefferson, Ricky Pearsall. But he's right there with Ridley. Ridley has 14 targets this year. And he's a guy who can get this on 1 or 2 targets. He has a crazy high 15.5 ADOT. That's average depth of target. And he also has 202 air yards through 2 weeks. That's 16th most in the NFL. The first week, he just didn't connect. He only had 2 catches on those 6 or 7 targets. But he had 56 receiving yards last week. Those were against, again, Denver and the Rams. And now he's facing an easier matchup here with the Colts, who are playing their first road game. Just let Broncos number 2 wide receiver Troy Franklin go for 89 yards last week. I like him. I think we're going to get higher and higher numbers as this season goes along for him. So he's a clear number 2 receiver on this team. So I like him over receiving yards. And then Titans in the first half.
Toast.
I got a kicking prop in this one.
No shit.
It's Joey Sly over 5.5 kicking points. We've cashed already the first 2 weeks with Joey Sly. I don't think people realize that Joey Sly is a 9-year veteran that's been kicking over 80% of his field goals for a while now. He's 8 for 8 this year with 2 of them at 50 plus, and he hasn't kicked a kick inside the 30. So even if as long as Tennessee can just get themselves in a position, I think that he cashes this ticket easily. This number is wrong. It's 6.5 now. I don't really care. Joey Sly has been an absolute moneymaker for us this year.
He goes, I don't think people realize Joey Sly's a 9-year veteran. Like, I don't
Yo,
think people
true.
give a shit.
People don't care at all. Yeah, they don't care at all.
All right. So we know what we've seen from Cam Ward so far this year. He's been under siege, pressured on over 45%. Can you guys, I can't point. See the pressure thing there in the bottom middle. Pressured on over 45% of his dropbacks. Play the Broncos and the Rams. That'll certainly do it. Very good chance those are 2 top 5 defenses. So not exactly a good recipe for a start to a career here. Back-to-back games where you're just running for your life. Titans offensive line might not have something to do with it, and J.C. Latham is going to miss another game at right tackle. Zietler also missed practice on Friday. Let me see if there's an update on him real quick. It was still questionable last I saw. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I think it's still questionable. But he missed practice on Friday. So Titans offensive line is definitely a concern, and I'm sure that's a reason or part of the reason Cam Ward's been under a lot of pressure. That being said, I like this Colts defensive line, and I've spoken positively about it. They've got a lot of talent on the defensive front. They're not generating any pressure. They're actually dead last in pressure rate, 20th in time to pressure at 2.58 seconds. I like this Colts defensive line. There's a lot of talent on it. I got it right here. Buckner, Stewart, Abukum, Latu, I think is back. He was banged up. So there's talent on this defensive line. They're not generating any pressure. 17.9% pressure rate. And this Colts defense as a whole, look, the Colts are 2-0, and the defense isn't really doing shit. They're allowing 28 points per game, 6 yards per play, over 53% success rate allowed. They're 2-0. It's not because of their defense. So, and if you look at this Colts defense, I like the defensive line. I have questions about the rest of it. EJ Speed is gone at linebacker. He was a nice piece for them last year. He's not there anymore. The secondary is one big question mark. Charvarius Ward, with all the injury concerns he's had over the years. Cam Bynum, Xavier Howard. He was looking pretty slow his last couple of years there at Miami. So I don't know if the Colts have a good defense. They're not playing well, as you could see. And if you look, they have a good defensive line, but they're not generating pressure. I don't think this Colts defense is good. So I think we're going to see some firsts here in this game. And what I mean by we're going to see some firsts, I think for the first time we're going to see A, Cam Ward have some run support, and B, Cam Ward have some clean pockets to throw from. I think this is a perfect opportunity for Cam Ward to play his first good game. Now, I'm not expecting him to piece the Colts up. He is a rookie, and without J.C. Latham there at right tackle, I can't expect the Titans offensive line to give him a ton of help. But like I said, Colts aren't generating pressure. Colts haven't been playing haven't been playing the best defense. And keep in mind, when you're looking at these numbers on the screen for the Colts defense, dude, Tua had so many opportunities to make throws. Like, Tua was terrible. Tua had so many opportunities to make throws. He was throwing them directly to the Colts. So these numbers, if Tua was half decent that day, and I mean average, these numbers would look a lot worse because Tua was gifting them the ball. So I don't know if this Colts defense is any good. The reason the Colts are 2-0 is on the other side of the ball. The Colts offense has looked next level excellent. And I guess the question we have to ask is, how real is this? They're 4th in success rate, 3rd in EPA. There's really no holes you can poke in this offense. They're running the ball extremely well, not steamrolling teams, but 4.5 yards per carry, success rate just under 40%. They're running the ball efficiently, and Steichen's doing one thing clearly with Daniel Jones. He's putting him in very low-risk situations. They're getting the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands fast, 2.45 seconds. He's been excellent with a clean pocket. He's been excellent under pressure. Everything about the Colts offense looks great. It's just been 2 games, and I think the market has kind of bought the number out of control here. Now we got 2 games of film on this offense, and Look, as you guys know, I was calling him Daniel Bones. I'm an avid Daniel Jones supporter. I think that New York Giants organization will destroy anyone's career. Look at Saquon Barkley. He's like the best player in the league. He like sucked on the Giants. Without saying it, Daniel Jones leaves the Giants and like immediately he's on the quarterback of the best offense in the NFL. But basically, I think that it might be a good sell high spot on this Colts offense. We're now laying close to a touchdown on the road. Let's be serious. In a division game, couple games of film available on this offense now. And this Titans defense is strong. It didn't look good last week against the Rams, but honestly, this final box score is a little deceiving. This graphic should say week 2 versus the Rams. Apologies. But in the second half, the Rams kind of ran it up a little bit. That was a competitive game, like Steve said in the first half. Titans defense looked really good in the opener. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Colts stutter here in a road division game. And on top of all that, dude, how long have the Titans been bad for, right? Years. The Colts haven't beaten the Titans by more than a possession in like 11 games. Like they always play a close game. You got to go back to 2020 to find the last time the Colts beat the Titans by more than a possession. So Titans up.
Also, can I add one thing? I think that the Colts, I don't want to say lucky because they've been playing well, but 25% of their opponents' drives have ended in a turnover. The Bills were best last season at 17.5. Like, there's no way that they keep that up. So I do think that there's some regression coming in that way as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, it sounds like when I listened to you, you also like the over in this game because I was thinking about the over 43.5. But also, I just want to say it can't be understated how unbelievably good Tyler Warren is. This guy has changed this offense. He is the next Brock Bowers type rookie tight end, and he is an absolute stud.
Relax. Now, he's from Penn State. Let's relax. You know those Penn State folks.
I am curious to see if this Colts offense is for real, but especially on the road in their first game. But yeah, I think we all like the Titans.
Titans outright. Come on, Cam, give it to me. Give me a W here. Next,
the comments will be in shambles if I cash a Titans bet. Let me tell you that right now.
Why does it keep moving us on the screen when I switch like that? Atlanta, Carolina, another division game. Toast, let me guess. You got a kicker prop in this one?
I don't. This is the
one. I forget which ones you even have.
I know. This is one game. I'll tell you when I do. This is one game I have absolutely nothing on. I can add nothing to the show on this game.
Okay. I only have a little bit. So first, quick stat: Raheem Morris, head coach, 1-7-1 ATS in 9 career games when he opens as a road favorite. But I have a lean and a best bet. My lean is not even strong. My gut says Panthers keep this close. But my eyes say I don't know how the Panthers are going to stop Bijan Robinson, to be honest with you. This is a really tough one. Road divisional game for the Falcons after a primetime game. Falcons defense actually really impressive. Second fewest total yards given up so far in the first 2 weeks. Getting a lot more pressure on the quarterback, which we talked about last year. They could not get pressure on the quarterback. They made some moves in the offseason. So far, it's worked. But, now we're facing a desperate 0-2 team at home. Well, I don't know how desperate the Panthers are. They're always losing. But
they live most of their lives in a state of desperation.
It's fight or flight mode at all times. I couldn't pull the trigger on the Panthers, but my gut says lean that way. My only best bet in this one is my long shot touchdown play that I love, which is Hunter Renfrow. You can get it at plus 400. I don't understand. He just scored 2 touchdowns last week. He's a safety blanket for Bryce Young. He's like the Adam Thielen from last year. Through 2 weeks, he has 6 and 9 targets. Only the rookie McMillan has more. As for red zone targets, how about a 31.2% red zone target share, the most on the team? Shifty wide receiver can be tough to defend near the goal line. But facing the Falcons, they gave up 2 receiving touchdowns to Buca in week 1. Didn't give up any passing touchdowns in week 2 because there's J.J. McCarthy and he's absolutely terrible. But at 4-1, I got to pull the trigger on this long shot TD. But game side, I'm curious to see what you think on this game, Kyle, because I was struggling to pick a side here.
Well, I kind of feel like the opposite of what you just said in the beginning there about how you don't see how the Panthers stop Bijan Robinson. I actually think the Panthers can do a good job on the ground here. Now, first of all, Falcons look great on the ground in the last game. It wasn't the prettiest road win, but it was a road win in Minnesota. So huge win for the Falcons. And you got to love that they were averaging 5.8 yards per carry, 50% success rate per rush. I mean, if you're a Falcons fan, you love that. The overall offensive numbers weren't explosive, but this is a huge win for Atlanta. Coming into this one, I think my first impression was like, okay, Atlanta's just going to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. What is Carolina going to do to stop that? But honestly, I still am not 100% sold on this Falcons offensive line. Keep in mind, Caleb McCarry's out for the season. Drew Dahlman is now on the Bears. So two of their main pieces from last year's offensive line, which was very good, they're no longer there. But in reality, what I'm looking at is on the other side. When Derek Brown is on the field, the Panthers are strong up front, and we just saw them go on the road to Arizona. Arizona was probably the most physical rushing attack in the NFL last year. Panthers held them to 28.6% success rate per rush. When this dude Derek Brown is on the field, remember a couple of years ago, Derek Brown was out for pretty much the whole season. A couple of years ago, when Derek Brown was healthy, he had like 115 tackles from the defensive tackle position. He is a difference maker in the middle. I mean, and he's been doing that since back at Auburn. He is a monster there. Doesn't really get talked about because he's on the Panthers, but when he's healthy, he missed all of last season. You rewind back to 2023, Bijan's rookie year. Dude, when the Falcons played the Panthers, they really didn't do much. In fact, when the Falcons came to Carolina 2 years ago, when Derek Brown was healthy, they lost 9-7, and they didn't do anything on the ground. So this dude, Derek Brown, is a difference maker, and I honestly think the Panthers can keep the Falcons from gassing him on the ground. What I don't like... Derek Brown is healthy, by the way. So is the rest of the Panthers offense, with the exception of Patrick Jones. I actually like the matchup for Penix. Carolina can't create pressure. I mean, the numbers on the screen tell the whole story. I mean, one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL so far this year, and they're sending blitzes. It ain't working. They're blitzing on over 32% of the time. They're not getting home. So the first impression was like, oh, they're just going to run the ball with Bijan. I just think it might be a great matchup for Michael Penix to have himself a great game here. Michael Penix has been slightly better than his stats show. You look at this, like, Penix has been ass this year. But if you watch, like, he passes the eye test, and I think this is a really good matchup for Penix. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons maybe struggle to get the run game going, and Penix is able to complete some throws over the top. On the other side, I'm a little worried about the Falcons missing A.J. Terrell here at corner. Probably the most important piece of the secondary, and this is a Falcons team that so far up to this point has been running mostly single high safety looks. They've been like second or third in the NFL in single high safety frequency. So without A.J. Terrell, that takes away a little of their flexibility. That and the fact that Bryce Young struggles against zone coverage. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons have to come out of their comfort zone a little bit and come out in some too high because they don't have A.J. Terrell, who is such a reliable piece that allows them to do that. So I think the Falcons defense is going to come out of their comfort zone a little bit, have to sit in some too high. And what that should open up is the opportunity for the Panthers to run the ball a little bit. And you look at the numbers, you're like, the Panthers can't run the ball in this game. Well, without A.J. Terrell, I think the Falcons are going to run less single high and more too high. And I think that's going to soften up the defensive front. I think the Panthers might run the ball a little bit in this game. The problem is, I mean, dude... There's just no way. There's no way. I mean, he looks awful. Granted, might not be entirely his fault. He finally developed some chemistry with a wide receiver last year, and he's gone. Like, as soon as he started to develop, they're like, oh yeah, no. He's gonna go back to Minnesota. So I can't trust this offense, even if I do think Carolina might have some success running the ball. It would only be Falcons, and I was thinking, maybe possibly an under, or I think the Falcons are going to throw the ball, but I don't think the Panthers are going to score. The reason choosing a total or taking a position on the total is so difficult here is the conflicting paces. Carolina 5th in seconds between snaps so far this year. Atlanta's 30th. So like trying to get a feel for the pace of the game, they're complete opposites. And not to mention, on top of this, Atlanta runs a slow pace, Carolina runs a fast pace. I expect Atlanta to be throwing the ball and expect Carolina to be running the ball. This throws even more shit into the blender there. This is a really tough one. If I was forced to pick a side here, I would probably just go Falcons. Yeah, Falcons, or you know what? I think what I wrote is like a Michael Penix over completion.
You did. And I was waiting for you to finish because I bet that last night. It's 18 and a half, 130. It's now 19 and a half minus 115. So I put like $40 on that last night when I was doing all my stuff. So
wait,
that was a good call.
Moved?
Yeah, to 19 and a half at minus 115.
Look at
so
that.
You would have caught. Yeah.
Yeah, so the prop I wrote in the article was Michael Penix over 18 and a half completions. I don't really give out props on the show because I have respect, but yeah. Toast.
And that's the one thing, you guys. He doesn't give them out, and they hit a lot because he doesn't ever bet them, and he doesn't even realize he does it. So just feel free. Just remember that.
The CLV player prop king, Kyle.
Don't ever refer to me that.
Doesn't even have to try. He just has it. He just gets it.
Toast, do you have oh, you passed. All right.
Yeah.
No, I actually like the over. It seemed like a sell, kind of a sell high spot. They've been playing 2 low scoring games, but again, every time you look at Bryce Young, at some point we can't. How many excuses can we make for this guy? You know what I mean? Like, I know he's different receivers and all that, but I mean, at this point, you got to be decent, right? He should be something.
Let's move on to the next game, and this is a bet. I'm still down to place this. This is probably, man, I don't know why I keep switching us on the screen. Sorry about that. This next one, I want to place this. I might be down to place this right now, and placing a bet at 11:20 a.m. on Sunday morning, 100 minutes before kick, is surely a terrible decision. But hey, we make terrible decisions during the NFL season. Raiders, Commanders. Steve, what do you got?
I hate this game, so I'll be quick. Mariota, by the way, 11-20-2 ATS in his career. I don't know what to expect from him. Can Ashton Genty do anything? Can he finally get going? I cashed his under rush yards super easy on Monday Night Football last week. I just don't like this game. I don't know what to expect. The Raiders are throwing the ball a ton. I expect them to run the ball well. Can they get the running game going? Coming off a primetime game, Mariota, he looked good last year. I actually had a crazy Commanders team total over 30.5 last season. And then Jaden Daniels got hurt. He came in and still, cashed it pretty easily. He knows the system. He's done pretty well. I expect the Commanders to come out here and get the job done. But this is just stay away from me.
Toast.
Yeah, it's a complete stay away. I would lean Washington here because obviously I think the spot heavily favors Washington, but there's nothing I could actually do about it.
Agreed. But I'll go through it. So 1 second.
I didn't want to steal your notes. That's why I said
you're good. All right. So obviously the lead story here, Jaden Daniels will not be playing in this game. Noah Brown is out as well, but based on the rate he was dropping the football, that might be a net positive. Former Dallas Cowboy there, Noah Brown. Now, Noah Brown's cool. I don't mean to take shots. He was
always cool for us.
He was cool with the Cowboys. So obviously Marcus Mariota takes over. Now Washington's offense looked just fine with Marcus Mariota last year, 31.5 points per game, 6.9 yards per play, success rate up close to 60%. These are actually elite offensive numbers in Marcus Mariota's 2 starts last year. A little bit of an asterisk next to these 2 starts. It was against Carolina and Dallas. Carolina's a crime scene, and Dallas defense last year was like some of the most offensive shit I've seen. So yeah, a little bit of asterisk next to these 2 games. They played terrible defense. This year's Raiders defense, we're still trying to get our thumb on the pulse of what this Raiders defense is. But remember, they have a lot of new pieces. I talked about this several times. They brought in a lot of new pieces, but all the new pieces they brought in are all experienced starters. It's not like they're plugging in pieces that have never gotten an opportunity. It's guys that have multiple years starting experience in the NFL with other teams. So they kept their DC. The DC from last year is still there. They brought in some new pieces who were experienced. And if you remember last year, the Raiders had a very respectable run defense. And it looks like they're picking up right where they left off. They're 6th in success rate per rush, 1st in EPA per rush. So this is looking like an elite run defense so far this year. Look at this. Their first 2 games, they're allowing 3.4 yards per carry, under 72 yards per rush. A success rate down close to 31%. The Raiders have been elite against the run. Yeah, New England and the Chargers, maybe not the most dynamic rushing attacks in the world, but it looks like the Raiders defense is picking up right where it left off in terms of defending the run. And that's just doesn't sound too great. What's the one thing you want if you're rocking with a backup quarterback? Run support. And I'm not sure if it's going to be there against this Raiders defense, which has been strong. But on the other side, I really don't like this matchup. By the way, here's the Commanders rushing. They didn't show up at all against Green Bay. They ran the ball against the Giants. So kind of the tale of 2 stories. Without the added element of Daniels, I think they struggle to run the ball. I don't like the matchup for the Commanders offensively. But on the other side, I mean, you guys, Geno Smith, I mean, these numbers may be a little bit misleading because he was so bad in the second one. He was actually pretty good in the first game, but it's concerning. the reason I don't like this matchup for the Raiders is there's a pretty clear blueprint on how to move the ball on Washington. Run the football. They were a terrible run defense last year. They're looking like they're going to be a terrible run defense again this year. Here's the problem with that. The Raiders don't run the ball. They're fourth in pass frequency. I'm not even sure if they can run the ball. They opened up the year against New England. We don't know what that defense is going to be. The Raiders controlled the game start to finish. They won by, I think, a touchdown. I mean, Ashton Jeanty didn't do shit on the ground. The Raiders might not have a rushing attack, and I know they got Jeanty back there. I don't know if they can run the ball. They certainly haven't even. When they've tried, it's been wildly unsuccessful. They've been one of the least efficient rushing attacks in the NFL so far this year. So there's a pretty clear blueprint on how to move the ball in Washington. It's run the football, and the Raiders haven't even shown us they could do that. I mean, in their first two games right here, 3 yards per carry, under 63 yards rushing yards per game, success rate under 32%. As far as throwing the ball, if the Raiders are going to try to go on the road and drop Geno back to pass 35, 40 times, I trust this Washington defense a lot more against the pass. They've got edge rushers there. Even without Dietrich Wise, they have, I think it's Scorton, the guy from, he was with Texas A&M. Von Miller's there. They can pressure the passer. They've got pieces in the secondary. So if the Raiders are going to try to come into Washington and try to drop Geno back to pass a bunch of times, they might just turn the ball over again like it did, or do what Geno does in these spots. So I don't like the matchup for the Raiders offense at all either. And if you're thinking, oh, Kyle, if you like the matchup for both defenses, why not an under? Well, here's why not. Because these teams run fast paces, 14th and 2nd. They're both in the top half of the NFL. Not taking it under 43.5 with two teams that tend to turn the tempo up. So it would only be Washington for me. And I know you're thinking, wait, you didn't really make many points for Washington. The spot, like Toe said, you got Washington coming off Thursday Night Football, 4 days rest advantage versus the Raiders coming off a Monday night game. So a huge rest advantage. Washington's been sitting there prepping for this game for a while. The Raiders are coming off a Monday night huge division game just a few days ago.
And traveling to the East Coast in the early window, which is like double bad.
Yeah, so if there's a Washington -2.5 juiced, that's what I'd be on. Washington -2.5.
Yeah, I thought about the under in this one too, but another reason I didn't like it is, again, these run games suck. We could get a lot of passes, which obviously, incompletions, keep the clock not moving and things like that. So, but yeah, spot-wise, this is all Commanders all the time. And also, real quick, if you're someone who wants to, fade backup quarterbacks right away, last time we had this many backup quarterbacks, we had 6 start in 2019 on a week. They went 5-1 ATS. Sometimes, tailing a backup can kind of be pretty beneficial, but.
It's funny. I was looking up backup numbers for like trends and stuff, and not that it matters to this game because these quarterbacks and coaches are different, but Washington as a franchise has been really good. Sam Howell, Tyler Heineke, Alex Smith, all those guys 10-2-2 ATS their last 16 games with backup quarterbacks for Washington. So that means nothing, but it sounds good.
Next up. One second. Green Bay, Cleveland.
I'll go first. I got a kicking prop.
Go ahead.
Brandon McManus over 6.5 kicking points -120. I think it's bumped up a little bit. I don't love it at 7.5. If you get it plus money, I'll take that. But I thought that 6.5 was disrespectful. Brandon McManus had a little bit of a down year a couple years ago, but the last 2 years he's been fantastic. And I truly think he's found new life in Green Bay. 24 for 26 the last 2 years on field goal. He's had 9 points in each of the first 2 weeks. And he's been great on the road this year and last year. Last year he did not miss on the road, 8 for 8. I don't think that anybody's giving Cleveland some respect. I did bet Cleveland on the side, but I think the Cleveland defense shows up. But I still think that Green Bay can move the ball. So I think there's going to be a lot of positions that Brandon McManus is in here to settle for 3 in this spot. I actually think that we cashed this bet pretty early in this game, to be honest. I love this bet today.
Steve?
Can't laugh.
All right.
I can, and I am.
I can still laugh. And by the way, I am undefeated on kicker props this year, if anyone cares. Want to know. Here's the deal. Packers at Browns. I got 2 bets. They're both ugly, but they also might be 2 of my favorite bets of the weekend. First one, Browns plus 8.5. It is disgusting. I know that, but we have a low total of 41.5 here. 8.5 points is a lot of points when you're taking a home team with a low total like this. Packers are they're hobbled. I mean, Hayden Reed now out. Watson's still in the IR. Josh Jacobs is probably going to play, but he's limited in practice, ankle injury. Tucker Kraft, not 100%, but looks like he's playing. I haven't checked the status of Banks and Tom, the two O-linemen, but they were questionable to play. Hobbs, Melton, questionable to play. This team's just limping into this game. And then Browns missing safety. I think Grant Delpit is out, and then tackle Conklin. But other than that, the huge reason I like this one is this Browns defense it's been no joke. It's been absolutely excellent. Don't look at the final box score last week, or at least at the final score, because turnovers absolutely did them in. The Ravens had 242 total yards. You know how incredibly tough it is to hold the Ravens offense to that.
In Baltimore.
In Baltimore. Held Derrick Henry to 11 carries for 23 yards. That doesn't even make sense to me. In week 1, Browns held the Bengals to 7 net yards in the second half. The Browns defense through 2 weeks. Fewest rush yards per attempt, 2.1. 7th fewest yards per pass attempt, 10th in pressure rate. 2nd fewest yards after catch, 3rd fewest passing yards. And by the way, you say 3rd fewest passing yards, okay, it's 2 weeks, who cares? It was against Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, guys. It was not against terrible Spencer Rattler or anything. Packers offense had 2 home games. Okay, now they're traveling for the first time. Jordan Love also tends to struggle a little bit more versus man defense, which is what Cleveland likes to run. Tucker Kraft needs to step up with this wide receiver room. But again, I don't know if you know, linebacker Devin Bush is excellent in pass coverage. This is a tough matchup for him as well. Browns have only given up 42 total yards in 2 weeks to tight ends. So I think they struggle to do much offensively here. And then Browns offense, this is going to be the key. This is the wild card. They have got to eliminate turnovers. I cannot be having pick sixes and turnovers and things like that. Quinshon Judkins looked really good last week. Again, tough matchup here, but he does give them some explosiveness. Broke 5 tackles just in like his 10 carries. Now, the Packers pass rush, we know, no joke. Hopefully this running game and getting rid of the ball quick can kind of help out. But I think it's a defensive battle. It's actually the easiest opponent the Browns defense has faced, which is crazy to think, especially with all the injuries for the Packers offense. Like I said, they already shut down the Bengals and the Ravens. I see a 21-17 type of game. As long as the Browns can, run the ball decent here and just not make dumb mistakes that lead to a ton of points, I really like the Browns to keep it close here. I know it's disgusting how confident I sound with the Browns, what I sounded like with the Giants in week 1. So take that for what it is. But second one, Josh Jacobs, under 78.5 rush yards, maybe my favorite prop of the weekend. He's been limited in practice. He looks like he's going to play, but 19 and 23 rush attempts. This guy's a workhorse. I do understand that, but he has not ran the ball well. Some is his fault. Some is the O-line injuries. It just has not been as dynamic so far as the last season. He's averaging only 3.6 yards per carry, not breaking many long runs. He had a 15-yard run in week 1 and a 10-yard run in week 2. That was the longest. Obviously, we're talking O-line injuries. Banks and Tom, obviously check on that, but I know they're questionable last I checked. And then wide receiver room, tight end room, or wide receivers banged up. I think the Browns are going to just focus on Josh Jacobs. They're not worried about the Jaden Reeds, the Christian Watsons, things like that. And then Browns defense, like I mentioned, not only just elite, but they held Chase Brown to 43 rush yards. Derrick Henry, I already mentioned, 23 yards. No run defense has been better. 2.1 yards per carry, number 1 in the NFL, number 1 in defensive run grade, first in defensive rushing DVOA. Front seven's getting off blocks, creating a wall. I love his under here. He hasn't done it yet. I don't see why he would all of a sudden get 80 yards in this matchup. So those are my 2 best bets. Browns, don't let me down.
Yeah, Browns plus 8.5, definitely. If there's one thing we have not seen yet from the Green Bay Packers, it's we have not seen Jordan Love uncomfortable at all. He's actually been completely comfortable in both games to start this season. Plenty of time to throw in the pocket, plenty of run support in the Washington game. Who doesn't have run support against Washington? We have not seen Jordan Love even remotely uncomfortable yet this season. And if there's one thing Cleveland does, makes the quarterback uncomfortable, especially on the road in Cleveland. You got a hobbled Green Bay offense limping in here, like Steve said, against this Cleveland defense that looks pretty nuts. I mean, they're going to be getting after Jordan Love in this one. We are going to see him uncomfortable for the first time. And if it was last year's Browns defense, I would say, you know what though, Green Bay's just going to hand the ball off. So they'll neutralize that Browns pass rush and the Browns secondary by just handing the ball off. I'm not sure if you can do that with this year's Browns defense. I mean, one second. They're allowing to Cincinnati and Baltimore 2.3 yards per carry, 30.7% success rate per rush. If this was the last year's Browns defense, I'd say maybe, but keep in mind the Browns' first 2 draft picks were Mason Graham, 5th overall out of Michigan defensive tackle, and Carson Schwarzenegger, from UCLA, was their second-round pick. They drafted 2 players to address the run defense, and it looks like they might have hit a home run early. Steve was just talking about it. They just went on the road to Baltimore and held the Ravens to 2.7 yards per carry. If this Browns defense also now has a run defense to go with the pass rush, this could be a problem. They outgained Baltimore last week. I mean, that final score is not at all an indication of how that game went. You add in the fact that you got Green Bay 2-0, this random AFC road game before the Dallas game. They just came off. This is the least important game for Green Bay, sandwiched in between some really important ones. You got they opened up a season against Detroit, then Washington, playoff team. Then you got a road game against Cleveland, then Dallas. And by the way, that Dallas game is important. They are hanging signs saying thank you, Jerry, for the mic up. But that's a game, man. That is a game next week. So this is the least important game in comparison to the other ones that are on the recent schedule. I think Jordan Love's going to be uncomfortable, and he doesn't even have a fully healthy offense with him. So I think the Browns defense is going to show out here. Browns defense is in good shape. Obviously, on the other side, the Browns offense, the numbers look terrible. They have been moving the ball. Like I said, they outgained Baltimore last week. They actually got the run game going a little bit, but I don't think the Browns offense is going to go nuts here against Green Bay at all. The Packers have been elite against the run. The pass rush has been there. The Packers defense looks to be every bit as good as advertised, but there's no way you can lay 8.5. Oh, here's the schedule. There's no way you can lay 8.5 on the road with this team. Not to mention, I mean, this is just historically, you take 0-2 teams in week 3, fade 2-0 teams in week 3. We just saw it last year. Remember the New Orleans Saints? They went 2-0. They were laying 3 points to the Eagles in week 3. They were laying 3. And the Eagles +3, everyone was like, how could you take the Eagles? The Eagles didn't even lose another game after that, went on to win the Super Bowl.
I'll never forget that.
The Saints were laying 3 based on these 2 games. So I'm not saying the Packers are a fraud or anything like that. I'm just saying they're now laying over a touchdown on the road, injured against one of the best defenses in the NFL in an unimportant game. Fade that. Browns.
I have a cool trend about that. Week 3 home dogs of 7 points or more, 8-3 ATS since 2003, and 5 of the 11 pulled the outright upset. So
nice. Browns up. I also will say, if you don't want to trust their offense, the Browns, you can get a Packers team total right now under 26.5. That just seems ridiculously high.
Cleveland.
What? That seems nuts.
How many teams are scoring 27 points in Cleveland?
With their backup wide receiver.
Yeah. All right. Bengals, Vikings, obviously backup quarterbacks are the lead story in this one. Let me guess, Toast, you found some kicker value.
No, I couldn't. I have to trust offenses and stuff. I have to be able, and not to mention the fact the kickers for both of these teams are question marks to say the least. So nothing for the kicking department for me. Leave me alone.
Steve, anything here?
It's backup quarterbacks, but is Carson Wentz a downgrade from J.J. McCarthy? Because I'm not sure.
I think Carson Wentz is just a downgrade in life.
Oh, okay. I just don't think. I don't think it's that big of a downgrade at all for Minnesota. But my lean here is the Vikings -3. They came out flat in week 2, played horrible. I really do like the Vikings here. Again, I think they're extremely well coached, and that's why when they're coming off how they just played in week 2, I think they're going to be able to fix their run defense. That's been a huge problem for them so far this year. They were a top 5 run defense last season. I'm not saying they're going to get back to that, but I do think we are going to see a better run defense from them. Bengals counting on Browning now here on the road with a bad defense. I see a solid bounce back spot here for Minnesota. I know this line has bounced a little bit, but if you can get 3 or less, I would lean Vikings. You just can't take this defense of Browning on the road against an angry Minnesota team there. I know what we saw last week was horrendous by Minnesota, and that's why everyone probably doesn't want to back them, but I lean Vikings here.
All right, so backup quarterbacks as far as Jake Browning against Carson Wentz, I think we can all agree that Jake Browning is probably the more trustworthy option. In fact, if you subscribe to this channel, you know that I've been gassing up Jake Browning for long, since years now. So I'm a Jake Browning guy. I think he's obviously a backup quarterback, but I think he's got a lot of talent. He can spin it, man. So as far as the backup quarterback starting, you give the edge to Cincinnati. I don't think that's a hot take. That being said, I mean, this is just a nightmare spot for Jake Browning. I mean, that Brian Flores blitz all day pass rush, I mean, that seems all the way back. This is looking like a top 3 pass rush once again. They're blitzing a lot. It's working. They're putting a ton of pressure on the quarterback. And Jake Browning, these numbers on the graphic, keep in mind, it's like 9 dropbacks. So I want you to look at the right side of this graphic, not so much the left. But yeah, this is a nightmare spot. You're going to go on the road to Minnesota, and Brian Flores is going to blitz the hell out of you. And it's not like we can expect Cincinnati to give Browning any run support. It's not really what Cincinnati does. In their first 2 games against Cleveland and Jacksonville, they're averaging 2.4 yards per carry, 47 rushing yards per game. It's disgusting. And we're talking about we might see the healthiest version of the Vikings defense that we've seen all year. Andrew Van Ginkel, has there been any update there? He participated in full practice on Friday.
He's in.
Yeah, he participated in full practice, so I'm assuming he's in. He's still listed as questionable, but yeah. Andrew Van Ginkel participated in a full practice, and Harrison Smith has been practicing this week, so they might be getting both of those pieces back. So in addition to they're going to blitz the hell out of Jake Browning, in addition to he's probably not going to have run support, they're also now healthier. And they're coming off an ugly primetime game. So, yeah, not exactly a glowing endorsement here for Jake Browning on the road in Minnesota. This should be a nightmare. Now, on the other side, obviously, we have concerns. The Vikings offense hasn't looked good. Ryan Kelly's going to miss another game at center, which is huge. Christian Darrisaw may make his debut. I don't know if there's updates on that.
Real quick, just to go on what you're saying, Christian Darrisaw, safety Harrison Smith, and outside linebacker Van Ginkel all expected to play.
Yeah, and then Skulls out. The tackle.
Huh?
The backup left tackle is still out too. That's another one that's on this list that I'm reading.
Oh, well, if Darrisaw's playing, that doesn't matter. He's a backup.
Touche.
So yeah, Ryan Kelly's still going to miss another game. Look, the Vikings offense is concerning based on what we saw. But that Cincinnati run defense, it looked really great in the opener. It came down to a crashing halt last week. Jacksonville over 5.1 yards per carry, over 48% success rate per rush. I'm not saying I expect Minnesota to just come out and run the ball on Cincinnati, but they have a greater chance of running the ball in Cincinnati than Cincinnati is of running the ball on them. And this is a hobbled Cincinnati defense. Has there been any updates here? Is Cam Taylor-Britt still doubtful? Any updates here? I made these late last night, so I just want to make sure. Cam Taylor-Britt is doubtful. So DJ Turner is going to play. So he's listed as questionable in this graphic. He's going to play. Cam Taylor-Britt probably not. But this isn't a Bengals defense we perceive to be good. So at home, -3, you got to go Vikings. I completely agree. Vikings for me.
Damn. I kind of want to take the Bengals personally, but
that's because you're a bad gambler.
Well, I'm just saying, you talked about Brian Flores. I mean, Jake Browning destroyed Brian Flores against a backup quarterback with Nick Mullins in 2023. And in 2023, he's been really good against the blitz. So I don't think that blitz number that you flashed is really bad. I think that's actually real. I think that Jake Browning can handle the pressure, personally.
I like Browning.
I know.
There's nothing else about the Bengals I like.
The problem the Bengals have is they need to be able to run the ball against this defense, and their run game has not looked good.
It looks awful. Rams, Eagles, Steve?
Yeah, I got 2 bets in this one. Fading the Eagles is not easy, but Rams +4 is my first best bet. I don't mind a little extra juice to get the 4. If you can only get 3.5, that's fine, I guess. But it's I'm not betting this because it is, but obviously a revenge game here. The Rams gave the Eagles their best game on their Super Bowl run last year in the playoffs. I think they can match up well. Now let's talk the Eagles, though. They are 2-0. They look sluggish. They do not look good. A.J. Brown does not look like he can get much separation right now. Devontae Smith has been often injured. Running game is not Saquon averaging 6 yards per carry. He's averaging 3.7 yards per attempt right now. Week 1, they scored 3 points in the second half versus Dallas with just 300 total yards. Week 2, they had 216 total yards against Kansas City. So it's not like we're fading an offense that is just absolutely rolling right now. And then the Eagles defense not generating as much pressure right now. Can they? They'll probably pick it up at 17.8% pressure rate. Only 2 sacks through 2 weeks as well. Allowed the 8th most rush yards per attempt. And then they're facing the Rams offense. They have guys who can match up. Obviously, Kyron Williams, he can have a decent game here, but Puka and Adams are just an absolute handful, and I think they're going to be for this Philly team. Obviously, we just saw them go off in the second half and scored 33 against Tennessee. They left some points out there in week 1, scored 14 against a really good Houston defense. But Rams defense, this is a sneaky top 5 defense. I don't even know if it's sneaky anymore. This team gets after you. 24% pressure rate through 2 weeks, 7th best, 3rd most sacks, 4th highest QB knockdown percentage. And the craziest part of all that, they blitz at the 4th lowest rate, guys. This team does not need to blitz to get in, and that's obviously key to having a great defense. I don't think this Eagles team is going to be able to score many points, and that's the key here. If they're not going to score many points, 4 points is a lot against this Rams team. I think they got a chance to win outright, but again, the Eagles find ways to win every single week, so I would much rather just play the +4 here. And then my second best bet, it's a player prop that I used last week. It cashed easy. Puka Nacua over 6.5 receptions. It was a little juicy when I got it, -128, but I don't know why we keep getting 6.5 lines here. This guy's an absolute monster. This season through 2 weeks, 10 and 8 receptions. Over easily. Most receptions in the NFL through 2 weeks. 1 more than JSN, 2 more than CeeDee Lamb. Awesome connection with Stafford. 18 receptions on 20 targets. And then Rams pass catchers. We talked about it last week. This is a 2-man show. It's not like the Bills. They're not throwing it all over the field to everyone. Adams, 21 targets. Puka, 20 targets. Guess who the next closest one is? Actually, I don't even know. There's a couple of them. They're tied at 4. 4 targets, guys. This is the next highest wide receiver target is Tutu Atwell at 2. It's just crazy to me how much these two dominate this offense. Facing the Eagles defense, their average right now in yards allowed to receivers. Obviously, they had a really easy matchup against KC's wide receivers last week. The only stud they faced is CeeDee Lamb. He had 7 receptions for 110 yards. So I just think Puka's a matchup proof. I think Sean McVay uses him all over the field, really makes it hard to just, dial in on him. So I love Puka over 6.5 receptions and the Rams +4.
You want to hear a perfect summary of NFL fans? I took the Bengals in week 1. I took the Bengals in week 2. I just took the Vikings, and some guy goes, Sauce is biased against the Bengals. Pissed. Claiming I'm biased against his team. Oh, man, NFL fans are the dumbest. All right, so Toast green screen got messed up. Toast, do you have a kicker prop for us?
I do, but Joshua Cardi over his kicking points. Josh Cardi, he's on the Rams. You have a graphic for it. Hasn't really been tested this year. Only 2 for 2 for field goals.
Hasn't been
No.
tested.
Yo.
What does that mean, dude? What does that mean?
If you let me finish, you would understand. He's only has 2 for 2 for field goals this year, but that's okay because in 2024 on the road, 15 for 17. Some of those places on the road, Chicago, Seattle, the Jets, San Francisco, New England. So I trust him kicking on the road. I am 14-2 this year, Jabbo. There's no covering your face. I know what I'm talking about.
You said he hasn't been tested. Does tested mean like the snap was a little off? Like what is
No, he has 2 kicks this year. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I love your Puka Nacua prop because Adoree Jackson has been one of the worst corners all year. Even if Stafford has a bad back, I think he puts them in decent positions for Cardi to kick long field goals. I really like this one. McVay 18-11 and 2 ATS on the East Coast. I think the Rams have a shot today. I don't love that it's like the most public dog on the board, but I think Cardi gets his kick points. I think the Rams can win this football game.
Yeah. All right. So you're on the Rams as far as the side?
Yeah.
That might be a new intro line right there. But this guy has not been tested.
He's been tested. Is this dude talking about the kicker? He's been tested? Like he's a corner. They haven't taken a deep shot on him yet.
I mentioned Adoree Jackson being terrible. Come on.
Oh, that makes it better. All right, so do we think the Rams can move the ball in this Eagles defense? First off, I want to say this graphic is not an accurate representation of the Eagles defense. If you take out the first half against the Cowboys, it looks a lot greener than this. So you look at the Eagles defense on the year and you're like, this defense hasn't even been good. It's been really good. It's just the Cowboys put together 3 consecutive touchdown drives that were like 80 yards each in the first half of that opener. Not to mention, based on what we saw the second half of last year, I think we can count on the Eagles defense being good. Although I will say it's not really being talked about that much how many pieces they lost from that Super Bowl defense. They did lose a considerable amount of starters. I think 5 starters from that defense are gone. So maybe they're not quite up to the standard they were during the Super Bowl run. But I think the Eagles defense is better than these numbers on the graphic. That being said, Stafford didn't have problems with it last year. Remember, they just played in the playoffs. division round in Philly in the freaking snow, mind you. Stafford did not have problems moving the ball at all. He was making throws in the snow, making throws in Philly, and that was last year's defense. That was a Super Bowl defense. They were shutting everybody down. In fact, the Rams had the ball on the Eagles' 22-yard line, down 6 to win it. So Stafford almost went in and beat these guys, and the offense was working. And there's a pretty clear-cut it's pretty clear why Stafford is able to move the ball in this Eagles defense. It's because the Eagles do not have an elite pass rush. They're pretty much elite everywhere else on the defensive side of the ball. But when it comes to pressuring the passer, they're not bad, but that's not the strength of this Eagles defense. And same thing again this year. I mean, they're about an average pass rush. They're elite everywhere else. They're elite on the interior. They're elite in the secondary, very well coached. But in terms of the pass rush, this is not an explosive elite pass rush. This is not a Cleveland Browns type pass rush. And the reason that's important, Matt Stafford, when he has a clean pocket, is a monster. He's basically a god, even at 45 years old, with a clean pocket. And also, he gets the ball out quick. So without anything to disrupt Matt Stafford, even against some of the best defenses in the NFL, he will complete passes and he will move the ball, just like we saw in the playoffs last year in Philly in the snow. So I trust Matt Stafford to move the ball in this game. And look, missing Steve Avila on the offensive line definitely hurts. He's going to miss another one. He wasn't there last week either. So I'm not going to pretend like that's not a factor. That certainly sucks. I'm not sure if the Rams are going to be able to run it. They ran it last week, couldn't really get it going against Houston. Houston's one of the best defenses in the NFL, but so are the Eagles probably. So I'm not sure if I count on the Rams to run the ball in this one, but I will say Eagles' run defense doesn't look all that great. In their first two games against Dallas and Kansas City, two teams we don't perceive to have elite rushing attacks, they're only 5 yards per carry, over 41% success rate per rush. So I'm not sure how elite the Eagles' run defense is. Look, I'm not saying that the Rams are going to run the ball in this game. I'm just saying I think they can move the football with a combination of Stafford and the current situation. I think the Rams can move the football. Now, on the other side, this is where, like, I just disagree with what you were saying about the Eagles' offense. I don't think it looks good on a stat sheet. Getting this offense off the field is damn near impossible between Saquon Barkley, between Jalen Hurts using his legs, between they're allowed to false start. That's a thing. They're just, the rules don't apply to this. I hate this city, man. The rules don't apply to this city. You just can't get this offense off the field. So even though it doesn't look particularly great on the stat sheet, I think the Rams defense is very good. I don't trust them to make stops here against the Eagles. I think the Eagles will move the chains just fine in this game. So you might be thinking, oh, over. And that's what we saw in the playoff game. Problem is, we're going to see a slow-ass game here. These two teams are so slow, and the defenses are pretty stout, so I could see 6-7 minute field goal drives. So it will not be an over for me. It's the Rams. I think this is a field goal game. I think we're going to see limited possessions. We're going to see long possessions, and I think this game comes down to the last possession. So I bet the Rams. Hopefully they call false start, yo.
So you think the Eagles' offenses actually look good?
No, I think it looks way better than the stats show. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also the type of offense that I agree. I wouldn't overreact from it looking bad for 1 week. Like,
I just think A.J. Brown looks bad, and this run game's not quite the same right now. Now Saquon can get it going, and maybe this O-line will start figuring it out a little bit more in the run game, but they just don't look the same to me. Maybe A.J. Brown goes off today and shuts me up, but
yeah, but that's the thing. A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, like, it would take more than a game or two of looking shaky for me to be like, this offense isn't good. Because, like, they're established superstar players.
Yeah, that was ugly. Barely hitting 200 yards last week for them. But, yeah, again, they're the Eagles. They can figure it out. They'll get 11 yards and move the chains every time and take 15 minutes.
That was also on the road in Kansas City, and Kansas City was 0-1. I mean, yeah, a little bit different. For me, at least.
A little different for Toast.
Just a little bit.
All right, I already know. I remember making this graphic. freaking Boswell.
That means that's a kicking truck, guys.
It's a
So,
Boswell.
This is just an absolute set it and forget it. I'm not even going to go over it. I don't have to go over it. We've cashed about 17 bets with Chris Boswell. He is the best kicker in the league. It's not even close. The fact that they even put a 6.5 out here to start the week is just absolutely disrespectful. I will not have it. We all slammed it earlier in the week. It's 7.5 right now. I still think that's good. But yeah, I played Bos every single week, as you guys know, and it continues to cash every single week. Go ahead.
I have a quick question, real quick.
Yeah.
Before I get in mine, just curious, has Boswell been tested, though? You know what I mean?
Yes, 3 for 3 on kick 40 plus. Thank you.
Has Boswell been tested? What are you new?
Yeah, thank you. What is this? Amateur hour?
What do you think, Steve?
I got a lean and an anytime touchdown bet here, but my lean is it's either Patriots money line or the Pats team total over 20.5. I haven't gone to the window with any of this. This Steelers defense looks to be a mess. I'm curious to see, what you think, Kyle, if this is just a 2-week thing or what. But 26th in defensive success rate, 28th in pass success rate defensively. They blitz a ton and they get burned by it. DBs have not been very good. And it's a bottom 5 defense so far against Justin Fields and Sam Darnold. Steelers offense does not look like it can block anyone yet again. Now facing a top 5 run defense. Patriots giving up 3 yards per attempt, third best. I was hoping Christian Gonzalez would be back for New England, but he is still out. He's obviously their number 1 corner. Patriots offensively, not going to say they're unbelievable. Look decent so far, I guess. Okay. I liked what I saw in week 2, but again, it was against Miami, so I don't know what that means. I like Stevenson to have a good game here. Steelers 21st in yards per attempt defensively. So I like the Patriots to get it done at home, but again, I'm not a strong lean on that. Maybe just a team total if you want to do that, but if you trust that the Steelers defense is weak. But my best bet is just an anytime touchdown. Jaylen Warren, plus 105, one of my more safer anytime TDs this week. Looked good through 2 weeks. More importantly, the clear number 1 back, 14 carries last week. Gainwell had 5. Rodgers talked about getting him more involved in the passing game. Also like his over receptions today. But as for the red zone attempts, 7 of the 8 red zone attempts have been to him. He's the goal line back. Facing the Patriots, been solid versus the run defensively, but they have a lot of touchdown to running back in both weeks so far. So, with the expected 14, 15 carries, 4+ targets, I like his chances to get in the end zone here. But sidewise, this is a
let's play the song.
Anytime, touching it down, scoring it, running around. It's the anytime, touchdown, scoring. Anytime you need touchdown. Yeah.
So that's Jaylen Warren.
Jaylen Warren, anytime touchdown, baby. Plus 105.
And I wasn't shaking my head because I disagree with you. I was shaking my head because I hate that I agree with you. That's in the beginning when you said that you expect the Patriots to score. I mean, yeah, Steelers defense looks terrible. I feel like it's irresponsible to think that it's going to stay like this. How? There's so much talent on the defense, but these numbers are terrible. 6.5 yards per play, 48.4% success rate, and now they're missing a bunch of pieces. Porter's out, Elliott's out, Alex Highsmith is out. Patriots offense looks great last week. I don't know if we trust it on the road in Miami, but what I'm looking at is right here. I mean, look, this is very limited sample, but Drake May's been excellent against single high safeties, excellent against man coverage. It's what Tomlin normally likes to do. In fact, I believe he led the NFL. The Steelers defense did in single high safety looks last year. Drake May's been a beast against those types of looks so far this year. With all the injuries, I mean, how do you expect? I want to say, guys, this is a mirage. The Steelers defense is going to show up. There's just nothing on paper that shows it. And kind of the same thing on the other side. I feel like the Patriots pass defense numbers look terrible. They've been great against the run. Look at their numbers against the pass, though. Good Lord. Over 338 passing yards allowed per game, 10.4 yards per attempt. The numbers look terrible. Everything points to over in this game. Everything. And I feel like the score is going to be 17-16. I can't explain it. I didn't bet this game. I'll put everything points to an over, and I feel like everything's going to come crashing down regression where everyone's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to go off against this bad pass defense. The Steelers defense sucks. And then it's like 10-9 in the fourth quarter. I think if I bet this game, it would be an under, even though it makes no freaking sense. If I bet this game, it would be an under because I just expect everything we've seen this year so far from both teams to be bullshit. So I'm going to say under, but I have no logical reason for that other than I think all the numbers we've seen from both these teams are misleading. Don't tail that.
A couple people asked me the same question in the chat. I do think that Boswell's better than Aubrey, and the only reason is that he's always outside, and Aubrey's kind of protected by that dome. So I give the little bit of an edge to Boswell personally.
Yeah. I was gonna say something I don't even remember now, but I do think there's a game coming up this week or next week. We're gonna see a Steelers defense show up at some point. I really don't think they're bottom 5.
That's what I'm saying. And tell me it wouldn't be this one. It'd be the perfect game for it to show up with all the injuries when no one's expecting it. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a super low scoring game, even though everything points to an over. It doesn't make sense. I feel like an idiot saying it and phrasing it like that. Like, I got a feeling. Like, oh my God, you're a degenerate. But I do have a feeling. All right. Damn, Toast, I can't get your screen fixed. All right, whatever. Oh, I know why. Every single time Toast comes on, the color green behind him is different. There we go. All right. Jets, Bucs.
Can you answer this question about this game? Is the Bucs good?
They're better than the Jets.
I didn't mean it like betting. I'm just curious. I feel like they played 2 bad teams, but yeah, I'm just kind of curious.
They are good, but they're ravaged right now with injuries.
Yeah.
I don't really have much interest in this game, guys. So whatever you guys want to talk about.
It's Tyrod Taylor against a really injured Tampa Bay team. Maybe a Mike Evans touchdown because I don't think he's scored yet, but that's all I got.
Oh, I got one. Nick Folk, over 5.5 kicking points, -114. Just a solid veteran kicker that's been over 90%, 5 of the last 6 seasons have been tested. There's no question about that. He's been through the ringer. Over 90% in 5 of his last 6 seasons. 1 for 22 last year. This is the guy that I lost my streak on last week. That lost, and I'm going right back to the well. I still think this 5.5 is absolutely disrespectful. I think we see a low-scoring game with a whole bunch of field goals. To be dead honest with you guys,
for me, it would only be the Bucs. One thing I've come to trust is Todd Bowles' ability to throw together a strong run defense when his defensive line is healthy. When Vita Vea's out there, when Logan Hall's out there, I know Todd. Sorry. I thought Toast was going to talk for longer than that.
Well, I can add a couple other things. The reason that I trust Folk is that because Taylor doesn't throw interceptions. He's like one of the lowest interception rates of all time. So I feel like he can get the ball down the field and put us in positions.
So, yeah, they're missing Cansey, by the way, on the defensive line when I was talking about the Bucs defense. But Vita Vea is healthy. Logan Hall's healthy. The linebackers are healthy. I trust Todd Bowles to give us a strong run defense. Where I don't really trust the Bucs is the secondary, and I think they're vulnerable to the pass. That's kind of how I feel about this Bucs defense at the moment. We'll see as the season progresses. But I mean, with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, how are we expecting Tyrod Taylor to just go into Tampa Bay and exploit the secondary? Just throw it sideline to sideline? The answer is no, of course not. Bucs offense is severely injured, but the reason I didn't bet this is I wouldn't be surprised if this is the game Baker turns the ball over a few times. So it would only be Bucs, but honestly, we've already spent too much time. I don't give a shit about this game.
I think the Jets cover.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield plays terrible after like the huge comeback win on prime time. And I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield plays terrible. I mean, based on what we have, it would only be Bucs.
Feels like an under in that one. Just like a.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game, and you have Tyrod Taylor that's not going to turn the ball over, or you would assume doesn't throw the ball over. Not to mention 7-3-1 ATS when catching 7+ points. I think I might bet the damn Jets. God damn it. Anyway,
Houston up. Are you with me, Steve?
In a way, yeah. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Jaguars team total under 23.5. This is just too high of a number for this team. Let's break it down. The first 2 weeks, they've scored 26 and 27. Congratulations. It was against Carolina and Cincy. That doesn't count. In the first 2 weeks, Lawrence has been absolutely awful. How can you suck against those two defenses? I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I think he had a quarterback rating of less than 80 in both of them. 4 TDs, 3 picks. He's just flat out not good right now. He's also struggled versus Texans defense massively, throwing 9 picks, 7 TDs. The run game is absolutely dynamite for the Jags. I don't think they can do that all year, to be honest. Again, it's the Panthers run defense and the Bengals run defense. I think they come back down to earth against this defense, Texans defense. Then wide receivers, Brian Thomas, questionable to even play. I think he's going to play, but has a bad connection with Lawrence. Just doesn't seem like a good fit right now. Travis Hunter, he's a rookie, obviously playing both ways, but guys, this guy's doing nothing because his ADOT is like 5. He's just like, he's doing nothing down the field at all. 9 catches for 55 yards. Texans DB should be able to slow these guys down, Stingley and these guys. And then elite, this is all about the elite Texans defense, by the way. They went into LA, held the Rams to 14. I know they could have scored a little bit more. Held Kyron Williams to 3.7 yards per carry. Held the Bucs to 20 last week, but let's face it, Bucs scored 13 points until that last miracle drive at the end. So this is really impressive, by the way, when you consider how garbage this Texans offense has been, and the Texans defense has been on the field over and over again. So I think they slow down this passing game, and I think ETN, Tootin, those guys on the ground, I think they're going to come back down to earth. We have an 0-2 desperate Texans team right now. This is a must-win for them. If the Texans can do anything on offense to kind of keep the Jags off the field and just give their defense some rest, I like this bet even more, which I think they will be able to do. So the key here is just, avoiding interceptions, fumbles, just cheap scores like that. But I don't think the Jags touch 24 points here, so I like their under.
Yeah, absolutely. Houston, I'm on plus 2.5, and I feel like the slides will do the talking for me. Oh, that's right. There's people listening. Jacksonville. I was about to just do a silent slideshow.
Sorry, audio.
2-12 in their last 14 meetings against Houston. This AFC South division has some serious divisional trends. I also don't really give a shit about them, but they are interesting. 7 straight home losses against this Texans team. That's disgusting. And what I'm looking at is right here. You look at this number, these numbers on the screen. Houston's offense against Jacksonville defense. Oh, man, this is a mismatch for the Jags defense. Get the hell out of here. This Jags defense is not good. I don't care what those numbers say. This Jags defense is not good. Last week on the road in Cincinnati, Jake Brown piecing them apart. And if you look right, this is what I'm looking at right here. And if you can't see it on the screen, I'm looking at the Houston rushing numbers against the Jacksonville run defense. If you look at this graphic that shows production for the first 2 games, you might think, Jags are going to shut down the run here. No shot. I think Houston's going to run the ball for the first time this year. They've opened up their season against the Bucs and Rams, 2 very good run defenses. Meanwhile, the Jags have shut down the Panthers and Bengals, 2 terrible rushing attacks. We're going to see the Texans run the football in this game. Jake Andrews has been removed from the injury report. He's going to be playing at center for Houston. So an upgrade in the middle of that offensive line. I expect Houston to hand the ball off, utilize the run, conservative play calling, playing a team they always dominate on the other side of the ball. The Texans defense owns they own real estate in Trevor Lawrence's backyard. Now, what I'm a little concerned about is the new Jags DC has come out and made it pretty clear they're going to be running zone coverage. Now, last year, they a lot of too high looks, a lot of zone coverage, kind of like the new era of NFL defense. That's what a lot of them are doing now. A lot of too high zone. CJ Stroud was terrible last year against too high zone. 4 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 4 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So the defense that the Jags have been running this year, and the defense that the Jags DC said they were going to run, CJ Stroud was ass against last year. So that's concerning. This year the numbers look a little different. He's actually been pretty good against zone coverage, but limited sample. So that does worry me. But like I said, I expect Houston to be extremely conservative calling the plays, run the football. They believe they can run the football in this game, and I believe it as well. And on the other side of the ball, I call horse shit on everything you see on the screen here. 6 yards per carry, over 170 rushing yards per game, my ass, against Carolina and Cincinnati. Try doing that against the best run defense in the NFL. They just got gassed by the Bucs, but that is misleading because the Bucs scored 2 touchdowns on the opening 2 drives that didn't do dick until the very last second of the game. So the numbers from last year are misleading. You got Trevor Lawrence, who's having a terrible season. Look at Trevor Lawrence's numbers on the year. This is against the Panthers and the Bengals. If you can't put together decent stat lines against the Panthers and the Bengals, it might be time to have a discussion. These numbers look terrible. He's only been pressured on 18% of his dropbacks. He hasn't even been under pressure. Now he's going to go and play against an 0-2 angry Houston defense, a team that he always sucks against. Houston up outright. Toast.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I played Houston with you. I also did their kicker with Fairbairn over 6.5 kicking points. I just wanted to add that the Texans, the reason I did kicking points with Fairbairn is because I do think that the Texans in the red zone have an issue this year. They're 0-3 in red zone scoring, or for 3 in the red zone this year, which is one of the worst in the league. Obviously, they don't have a red zone touchdown. It's only them, the Giants, and the Raiders that don't have a red zone touchdown. So until I actually see them have success in the red zone, I think that they're going to rely on Fairbairn, not to mention the fact that he has been one of the best kickers in this league by far, 36 for 40 on the road over the last 3 years. And also, I also kind of call Fugazi on that Jaguars defense too. They have 6 total takeaways. I don't think that the Texans are going to do that. Like I said, I think they're going to run the ball as well. So I think Fairbairn's going to have plenty of opportunities.
Someone said, quick off-topic question, can sportsbooks track public sentiment and conversations? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, but the data, like who the public's on, doesn't matter. For example, that data mostly comes from recreational sports books, and then those books are just going to follow the movement at the sharper books. So if it's Raiders at Chiefs, Kansas City -5.5, and 99% of the action is coming in on the Chiefs, they're not going to move it. They're just going to follow Circa. If someone walks into Circa, bets the max on Raiders +5.5, drops it to 5, they're just going to follow. So the fact that the 99% on that sport, it's irrelevant data. Denver on the road in LAC. I think Bo Nix has a big game. I like the Denver offense. The more I think about it, I might bet this again.
Again?
I don't know, though. I don't know why. The more I think about this one, the more I think it's a great bet. Go ahead, Toast. Whatever bullshit kicker we're picking or something.
It's Dicker the kicker, guys. Over 1.5 field goals. Again, he's indoors against the Denver defense. That's really good. I think this is going to be a low-scoring type of game. But Dicker's been absolutely fantastic. 95 for 101 in his career, 43 for 46 the last 2 years. He's just been absolutely fantastic. There's no reason to not continue to place bets on Dicker the kicker. He's already cashed for us twice this year.
No reason.
Should be a third. Just saying.
Steve, what are your thoughts on this one? Are you with me on Denver?
To be honest, I'm really struggling on the side here because I don't love what I've seen from Bo Nix. He did play better last week, but
this is the spot, man. This is the spot.
I know, and that's why, and that's actually in my write-up and why I'm staying away. This seems fishy. Chargers -2.5. I mean, Chargers from what we've seen could be more than this. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, hold on, Jabo. Is it really impressive that they beat the 2 teams that they beat in the Raiders and Kansas City?
Wait, whoa. I think this game should be a pick.
Really?
Dude, there's no Khalil Mack, there's no Perryman, there's no Henley. They're missing their 3 best defensive players.
I agree, but I'm a little down on the Broncos right now. I don't know if I love what I'm seeing from them offensively.
Exactly.
I think it's the Chargers defense that I'm impressed by, and maybe this is because before the season I thought the Chargers were a Super Bowl dark horse, so maybe I'm biased here. And I think they looked really good. I know they haven't played elite teams, but to get under a field goal with Harbaugh at home here, I know they got some injuries. Without Khalil Mack, it does suck. But
dude, not
again,
just Khalil Mack. Finish.
I know. I get it. But I don't have a bet in this game, so I'm not like hard on the Chargers. But 2.5-point favorites at home. I mean, what we're talking? These are even teams then, and I don't think they are. I really don't. I think we're seeing a Bo Nix regression season this year. But again, I'm not strong on this one. I have 0 bet. In Harbaugh in this defense, I trust. And I think Knicks will make some mistakes. I could be wrong, though. Broncos is a divisional game. They keep it close. But if you're getting under a field goal, I'm guessing you guys just think Broncos win outright then.
Broncos are winning outright.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the market is pushing this one up, basically overreacting to what we've seen so far this year. Now, like you were saying, now we're like, oh, the Chargers are definitively better than the Broncos. That's what we were saying 2 weeks ago. We probably had these teams about even in terms of the overall perception of these two teams. People were really big on Denver entering the season, and it hasn't looked great. I'm not even a Bo Nix guy. I think I was making fun of Bo Nix the first 2 weeks. And this Chargers defense is missing its 3 best players. Now, Henley hasn't officially been ruled out, but he missed practice. There's no Perryman. There's no Khalil Mack. There might be no Henley. That's their best edge rusher, but like the best player on their team probably, well, Herbert. And then their 2 inside linebackers that are 2 of the best inside linebacking core in the NFL, outside of maybe, honestly, it might be. So this defense could be missing its 3 best players. This defense is a shell of itself right now. It's a perfect time for Denver's offense, who no one believes in. No one wants to bet Denver right now. Everyone sold their stock. It's the perfect time to buy low. Chargers coming off a short week on a primetime game. I think Denver's offense moves the ball up and down the field and beats them. Now, Denver's defense, they're missing Dre Greenlaw, and it's been a little disappointing. And I wouldn't be surprised if Denver's defense isn't nearly as good as we expected this year. I think that's a solid take. But I think Bo Nix has a great game here. I think the Chargers defense is a shell of itself. It's missing so many pieces. And if the Chargers are still laying 3 and perceived to be better, missing their 3 best defensive players, in my opinion, the market is way overreacting to a couple of games. Because if missing Perryman, Mack, and Henley 2 weeks ago at the start of the season, Denver might have been laying 1 here. So getting a full 3. Yeah, I also think it goes over 45.5. I think Denver. Yeah, I also really like the over here. I wouldn't be opposed to an over.
Yeah. Did you actually bet them? Because I did.
Broncos? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm going to bet them again on the money line.
Oh, I sprinkled myself.
Also, real quick, Bo Nix 18-1 in his career on a 6-point teaser. Just saying.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Who Gives a Shit.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. I want to end the show before I have to say my bet on this one.
You are not.
I did.
Oh, he is. He loves it, too. He's been all week long, pumping his chest out. Go ahead. I have nothing in this game. I'm tailing you because everybody hates your pick so much. That's the only reason I tailed it, and they'll usually do well. So go ahead. It's your show.
I want Steve to go first.
Okay. Okay, so I don't have an official best bet here, and the reason, and I'll tell you the reason why I stayed off this, but the one I do like, but I really don't like when I really think about it, actually, is Saints team total under 17.5. I probably wouldn't play it at 16.5. Saints have looked awful offensively, but here's why I'm staying away, and this is probably why Kyle likes the Saints. The Hawks on defense are just a mess right now, and I don't mean they're bad. They're excellent. They're top 3 defense, but they are missing both safeties. And that's huge, guys. They're going to be without Witherspoon again. He's their number 1 defensive player on this team, maybe number 1 player. That's what worries me. Now, maybe it won't matter against the Saints.
Preach.
Because the Hawks defense, number 1 pressure rate in the NFL. 38.5%, number 1 in hurries, 4th in turnovers, 2nd in INTs. I mean, this is as good of a defense as it gets. They should dominate this team. And if this Seahawks team was healthy on defense, I don't think you're going to hear what you were going to hear from Kyle here in a second. But the Saints, so many issues. O-line is not good. Running game is okay. Again, we're talking about a team who just scored 13 points at home against the Cardinals in week 1. Maybe, they had a game-winning drive chance. 21 in week 2, but missing some. I think they're going to be down 2 starting offensive linemen.
Hey, Penning's practicing.
Okay, well, good for him. But I will say this. I just don't see them scoring over 17. That's 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And they could still score 2 touchdowns and a field goal and cover this maybe. But I like their team total under. But again, I'm not betting it myself because these defensive injuries are just huge right now.
Yeah. This is the perfect time to sell all of your Seahawks defense stock. Everyone's like, wow, we were talking about this Seahawks defense being good before the season. And now everyone's buying, oh, wow, this might be a good, oh, yeah, this defense might be good. Dude, they're missing their 2 best defensive backs. The only remaining defensive back that's a key starter is Reek Woolen, and he single-handedly lost a football game this year. This is speaking from somebody that was on the Seahawks in that one. I think this is the perfect time. I think Spencer Rattler's going to play well here. We never, ever see Spencer Rattler have the advantage, and against the Seahawks secondary, which is vulnerable, it's a mess. I think we're going to see Spencer Rattler complete throws in this game. I think Kamara could have a big game. And look, on the other side, everyone, I am not going to let one huge road win against the Steelers, which was awesome, by the way. Congrats on your win, Steve. I didn't have a bet on the game. I enjoyed watching the Steelers lose. I'm always down to watch Mike Tomlin lose and have that stupid look on his face. But fading the Seahawks off of that is beautiful. People are perceiving Sam Darnold in this offense to be good now, and then they come back home after the huge win. Perfect time for Sam Darnold to throw 2 picks. There are teams you lay more than a touchdown with. Seattle is not one of them. I love the Saints today. 7.5 is we're laying more than a touchdown with Sam Darnold and Seattle. Did we just completely forget week 1? Where after week 1, we were like, Darnold might not be the quarterback in week 4. He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. Now we're laying more than a touchdown because of one win where the Steelers gifted them a touchdown on a kickoff. No. Saints might win outright.
Also, just to add to Kyle's point, Seahawks, we know, that big home atmosphere, right? Seahawks 2-7 ATS at home last year, never really great. Not to mention the fact that the Seahawks are just 13-22 ATS at home since 2021. That's the third worst in the NFL. So going to Seattle isn't even really that hard anymore.
No, it's actually a nice trip.
It is.
Well, it's not Seattle, but yeah, no, I get it. I will say this: they're hurting the secondary, but I mean, if they show their 38.5% pressure rate against a quarterback who's never won a game in his NFL career yet,
until now.
And Kenneth, don't even. You're not. Are you taking money line?
No, but I'm kind of hyped though. Let's see how 1 o'clock goes first.
You do you.
Text me like 350. I'll let you know.
This is also, not a good spot for Seattle Eagles. Also, Seattle since 2023, Seattle is 2-9 at home ATS when they had to play their previous game on the road. Oh no!
I just want to say something because it reminds me of the last two games. The Chargers are missing guys, and the Seahawks are missing guys on defensively, and these are huge injuries for both of them. I understand that, but sometimes I just trust like Harbaugh and McDaniel. Just how they prepare for their defense, they're really good defensive coaches and they know what they're doing. So I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, but it's just something to keep in mind.
No, Saints, this is going to be a close one. I like the Saints here. And also, like me and Toast were talking about before, I mean, I know people who blindly bet every 0-2 NFL team in week 3 because it's been so insanely profitable. I'm not like a trends person, but there's
so many.
People.
When I was doing my notes last night, I could have done 15 trends for week 3 underdogs or anything like that. Yeah.
People 0-2 NFL teams have an insane hit rate in week 3. Enter Saints.
I just want to say one thing, just for all my Seattle fans, sports fans. We care more about the Mariners than the Seahawks today, and I haven't said that in like 2 decades.
Wow. And
it's a big game.
That's my notes. It's a baseball city.
Big day in Seattle.
No, it's an NBA city.
It's an NBA city. I honestly don't know. How do you lay points on the road with the Cowboys? Also, the thought of betting the Bears is makes me physically ill. Saints taking some money down to 7.
Jabbo, I was a little disappointed when watching your NFL video. I gave you a piece of gold. I told you a number to look for. It was on the board this week, and you didn't take it. And I want to understand why. And I know you know what I'm talking about, so please enlighten me.
Because I have 3 bets in this game already, and this is my do or die, make or break. If this game does not go the way I think it's going to go, I am going to pull my hair out. But
please take 4.
No, are you sure? You can say yours first before I go on a rant.
Oh, okay, cool. Mine's really easy, guys. We see 8.5s on the board. We play overs. We don't even have to do any research. Brandon Aubrey over 8.5 kicking points. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm 8-0 in this theory. I have to go check the numbers, maybe 7-1. But when you see an 8.5 in this kicking market, I said it all year last year. Y'all laughed at me. I said it twice this year. Cashed both of them. This is just a set it and forget it number. I say it all the time. Not to mention the fact that Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker or one of the best kickers in football right now. So, go ahead.
I knew you were going to say that, which is hilarious. I'm going to bet it personally. I'm just not going to give it out because I cannot legally give out 4 bets in one game that the Bears are involved in.
You can't legally do it? It's against the law?
Not legally. No, my financial advisor says I can't do that or bet on the Giants anymore. Okay.
My wife put restrictions on me too.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, so this game better go right. I'll tell you that. I got 3 bets. I'm going to try to hurry. Over 50. This is going to be an absolute shootout. In my opinion, big defensive injuries. Both teams are without their number 1 DB, Deron Bland and Jalen Johnson. That's going to be huge, obviously. The Bears first, already involved in 2 shootouts, 27-24, 52-21. I see no reason why we don't get this again. Bears offense, even though they're out of sync a little bit, we've seen they can move the ball. I'm not a Caleb Williams guy, so but 21 and 24 points versus 2 pretty good defenses. This is going to be the worst defense they have faced this year. Love what I'm seeing from Mr. Rome Odunze. Bears defense has been awful. 5th most rush yards per attempt. Opposing quarterbacks are 36 for 48 for 468 yards against them. They've been getting decent pressure, but not converting into sacks. 9th highest pressure rate, but they only have 3 sacks right now. Without Johnson, this secondary is in trouble. And then Cowboys, this offense through 2 weeks. Great first half of Philly. Weird, again, weather delay, weird second half. Put up 40 last week against the Giants. I've been really surprised by the Cowboys' run game, to be honest with you. Javonte Williams averaging 4.6 yards per carry, 33 carries. They're really committing to it. They were like dead last year, so this has been impressive for them. Cowboys defense, another group that's awful, just made Russell Wilson look like the old Russell Wilson. Threw for 450, 30 for 41. You cannot give up 37 points to the Giants. You just flat out cannot do that. So overall, 2 offenses move the ball pretty well. 2 defenses that are just flat out not good. I think we get a ton of points. Now, second one, CeeDee Lamb over 81.5 receiving yards. This guy's been an absolute beast. I think he goes for 100 plus. He has over 100 already in both weeks. 13 and 11 targets. We know the volume's there. 16 receptions, 24 targets, averaging over 14 yards per catch. Has over a 30-yard catch in each game. I mean, there's half your total right there, or a third of your total, if I can do math. Air yard share, 58% of his air yard share in week 1 of the teams, 45% in week 2. Target share, 28%. Only Neighbors has more targets than Lamb this year. And then Bears, bottom 7 team defending wide receivers right now. 5 wide receivers actually gone over their total already. We just saw 2 Lions receivers both go over 100 receiving yards. And then this Bears defense, not only without Jalen Johnson, like I mentioned, also without Kyler Gordon. And I just don't see any DBs slowing this team down at all. Lamb, by the way, 12.6 ADOT, third most air yards in the NFL. We know he's a stud. I think he goes off. Third one, Roma Dunze, anytime touchdown, plus 140. This is crazy. He has 3 touchdowns already. What are we getting plus 140 for in a game that has a 50-51 total? He's become the number 1 receiver for the Bears, not even really close. 30% target share. Next closest is Zacchaeus. It's not even DJ Moore. It's 17.9%. He has the most red zone targets, obviously. Facing the Cowboys, gave up 3 receiving touchdowns, actually. 2 to Neighbors, 1 to Wendell Robinson. Dallas plays a lot of zone. Caleb Williams has been better versus the zone. We have a high total again. I like Rome to score here. If this game finishes 14-10, I am in deep trouble. But those are my 3.
Dude, there's like weather condition. There might be weather concerns.
Like
yeah,
rain.
77 degrees with a 38% chance of rain, guys.
I only care about wind.
Wind about 7 miles an hour to the southwest.
Thanks. I don't know, Cowboys. I'm good. The Saints are on at that time. That'll be the main TV. I'm a Saints guy. I'll put the Saints up again for this game. Another game. There's back-to-back games where this is really tough. Looks like they've taken some Cardinals money. It's down close to a pick. The Cardinals did beat San Francisco twice last year. This is another one. I have a bet on the Sunday Night Football game, but I'm all ears. Steve, what do you think? These back-to-back games where I really don't know.
I don't like this one at all. I think if you're looking for a prop, McCaffrey over in receiving yards is like automatic right now. It's like a 8.5 kicking points type of prop. But as for the side or total, again, 49ers, 2.5 under a field goal. But man, this is one of those divisional matchups, like you just said. The Cardinals play the 49ers really well. So this is a straight pass for me here. But yeah, I couldn't even tell you a side, to be honest.
I think now that it's down to about a pick, it would have to be 49ers money line. I think I'm getting the better team at home at a pick. So I know actually there's someone in our Discord, Adam, who's like 49ers is his favorite pick of the week. He's a pretty sharp guy. And his reasoning, so this is why he loves the 49ers. So the Cardinals are extremely vulnerable at corner. Now, the 49ers don't really have the receivers to exploit it, but the Cardinals are missing Will Johnson, and they've got problems in the secondary, Arizona. It's a new defensive line, and it's definitely better, but they've got serious problems, and that could turn into big plays in terms of missed tackles. So the Cardinals defense, certainly not a unit we blindly trust anyway. The secondary might be really vulnerable here. Now, on the other side, Kyler Murray just doesn't throw the ball downfield anymore. And again, I'm just repeating what Adam was saying in the Discord, the guy who loves the 49ers. The Kyler Murray just runs. His percentage of throwing the ball deep is extremely low, and it's becoming easy to coach against. It's pretty clear what the Cardinals want to do. Hand the ball off, run it, throw underneath. It gives the 49ers some flexibility in terms of play calling. If this was 2.5, 3, when we talked about this in the voice chat, we have a Wednesday night NFL voice. Everyone's welcome to come to that, by the way. An NFL Wednesday voice chat for 2.5 hours long. And during that, it was 2.5, 3. It was juice 2.5. And I said 49ers are pass. So now that it's down to close to a pick, I think it might be playable. 49ers money line for me, but I've already spent more time talking about it than I intended to.
Yeah, I have nothing. I just wanted to point out that Shanahan doesn't really do good against the division at home. He's like 9-14-1 ATS. And one thing that I've been continuing to pay attention to,
like 10 though.
Yeah. And then San Francisco really first half team really bad in the second half. Since the start of last season, they're 3-16 against the spread in the second half. That's the worst mark in the NFL, which tells me that the books assume that they're going to play well in the second half and they continue to let them down. So it would only be Arizona for me personally, but I have no interest in betting the game.
I want to call bullshit on a comment. He goes, both of these teams smoked the Saints. Final score 2013 plus 7.5 hits. Final score 26-21 plus 27.5 plus 7.5 hits. Saints haven't been beaten by more than 7. Don't sleep on the Saints, man. It's all Saints Day.
Good Lord. All Saints Day.
I really want the Saints to cover. I don't want them to win because I have their season win total under. So
this might be the Saints Day. This might be the All Saints Day.
Hey, were you a Rattler fan in college when he played in college?
I wasn't a Rattler fan, or I wasn't a Rattler hater either. The problem is when he transferred out of Oklahoma, when he went to South Carolina, their offensive line was injured. He had a terrible offensive line at South Carolina. He spent the entire season running for his life. And then it's crazy how then he goes into the NFL and when he finally gets the starting job, the Saints offensive line is so injured that he's just running for we've never even that's kind of my take on Spencer Rattler is we don't even know how good he can be because he's never had time to throw ever. Like dating back to when he was at Oklahoma. That was the last time he actually had clean pockets to throw from. So he's never really gotten a fair we've never really seen Spencer Rattler with time to throw in his entire professional career. Sunday Night Football. Steve?
Yeah. So, again, I can't legally bet this one, but I will tell you I like the Giants +6, and it's absolutely disgusting. It's so bad. Again, we're talking an 0-2 Chiefs team, and I'm taking a Giants on the spread. Can the Chiefs finally get the run game going? I haven't been impressed with Pacheco and Hunt and the push that this O-line's getting. 13 of the Chiefs' 17 games last year was either a loss or a win by one score. So again, this is not a team that just beat you by 14 points or anything. I don't know if the Giants or the Chiefs can actually pull away, but I don't know how I can trust the Giants either. Coming off a game where they just looked unbelievable offensively out of nowhere. I do think it'll be a struggle. I kind of lean under here as well. But that Giants +6 is my lean. My best bet in this game is, if you guys haven't noticed, if my computer will work, Mahomes has been running the ball a lot, over 26.5 rush yards. This is just too low. He's the leading rusher for this team. He's absolutely leading rusher for this team so far. 57 and 66 rush yards in the first 2 weeks, still getting a 26.5 number. Some reasons, well, his protection has not been great. He doesn't have many weapons as well, so why not use your legs if you need to? This is offense that needs him to run the ball with his legs in order to move it consistently until they start getting Xavier Worthy and all these guys back. But Giants defense gave up 68 rush yards to Jaden Daniels in week 1. His line was 42.5. Gave up 17 rush yards to Dak. I mean, his line was 3.5. But this is a front seven that can force Mahomes out of the pocket a little bit, I think, force some scrambles. He has 6 and 7 rush attempts. These rushing props for quarterbacks kind of remind me of receiving props for running backs. They can be hit and miss a little bit. But I love how he's using his legs. They've talked about how he needs to do that more this year, and he showed it. If he has 27, 28 rush yards and he is kneeling down a couple times, I am going to be very upset because you can lose yards with kneel downs. I've lost it before. I've lost fantasy games with it before. But either way, I like his over rush yards, and I lean the Giants. Curious to see what you guys think of this.
I've already bet the Giants. I'm not going to try to take too many of Sauce's notes, but I will just say, first of all, I will give you that the Eagles and Chargers are much better than the Giants. But who is Kansas City on the road to lay points to anybody? They haven't covered a spread of over five in almost 2 years. They're 0-7-1 ATS over the last 600 days plus, laying that number. But for me, it's Graham Gano over 5.5 kicking points. Been a revelation this year for this team, 5 of 5. And again, a 10-year veteran who 6 of the last 8 years have hit almost 90% on his field goals. I think Russ can get a couple of shots to neighbors and put them in field goal positions. I think this is kind of like a lower scoring game. We see that the first 2 months of the season when these games are in MetLife. I think it's a crazy number, like 15-1 to the under the first month of the season when Giants have home games the last couple of years. I think this is a low scoring game. I think the Giants cover, and I think Graham Gano hits a couple field goals.
Yeah, I mean,
can I just say one thing before you jump in? I have to mention this. The Jets and Giants have played 38 night games. They're 5-33 straight up. 5-33 in night
so
games.
bad.
The New York teams cannot play at dark.
Here's the number I found. Sorry. In the first 2 months of the regular season, the under is 15-1 in Giants games since 2021.
So yeah, I don't know how you get to 6. I'm on Giants plus 6.5 too, and Xavier Worthy's not going to play, so all of a sudden I feel a little bit better. I bet Giants plus 6.5, thinking what? How do you get to 6.5? And then it looked like Worthy had a shot of playing, and I was like, but no, he's not going to play. So if Andrew Thomas plays, obviously that's a huge boost. But guys, when you're placing these bets, remember, if you're taking the Chiefs minus 6.5, that means you're saying it should be 7.5, right? Because you're saying that this number's off. That's what placing a profitable wager is. I don't even know how you can make a case for the Chiefs laying 6.5 on the road. Basically we're just throwing names in like, oh, Mahomes, go Travis Kelce. If we just go based on football and the production we've seen on the field, this line should be like 2. The Chiefs have not been very good. Mahomes doesn't look good. And it's been a while since he's looked truly good. I mean, he hasn't. I don't know what this is or how long this is going to last, but we're talking about a year and a half now where he's looked really shaky from a clean pocket. Doesn't look comfortable. The Chiefs just don't look like a team that should be laying 6.5 points on the road. And if you're laying it, obviously you could very well win the bet. It's Giants on primetime. Like, can I see the Giants finding a way to screw this up? Absolutely. And I'll laugh my ass off the entire time. But the idea that when we're pricing this game, we should arrive at 6 or 6.5 on a fair price, you can't get there without using things from years ago. If we're using production we've seen on the field from this year, and even the second half of last year, I know the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't go there by blowing teams out. That's for sure. There's no way you can make a case for being 6.5. If you're betting the Chiefs, you're betting on the Giants to just screw this up on primetime, which honestly can't even say I disagree with. I could see it. But yeah, the Chiefs shouldn't be laying this big of a number. We'll see. I placed it thinking the number was going to come down dramatically. I have a 6.5. You could still get a 6.5. So there's a lot of people taking the Chiefs. This isn't one of my favorite bets or anything, but I am on the Giants plus 6.5. All right. Should we do a community parlay?
Yeah, we got a little extra time.
Hold on one sec. Let me load the song. Because when you don't load it, it like skips.
While Kyle's loading this song, I saw like 4 baseball comments. I think 3 of them for the same guy. Reds, Guardians, Rangers, Mariners. That's all you need to know. That's all I got.
That's it. All right. Let's
All I
do
heard
it.
was Mariners.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Let's do the community parlay. Colts money line. Texans money line. Commanders money line. No, they like the Raiders in that one. And then Rams, Eagles, they like the Rams in that one. The Rams won that vote.
Yeah.
The community voted for a couple dogs today. Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Steve, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, just a bet outside on YouTube, X, all that. We talk NFL, MLB, NBA, and yeah, give out a lot of research for you guys to make your own bets and everything. But it's 4th year on the channel now, having a ton of fun doing it. So come join. But always love coming on here Sunday morning. Best parts of the week.
Yeah, man. It's just a bet outside. Type it into YouTube.
Great name too, by the way. Fantastic.
Thanks. My wife may have helped me, but I'll take credit.
Hey, that works.
It looks like Colts money line is going to make it. Well, community parlay lost because the Titans are winning that outright. Good job, community. Actually, I shouldn't say the community parlay freaking hit last week.
Plus 311.
Plus 305. Oh, was it 311? It was something like that. It was something It wasn't a lot, dude. All right, Colts money line makes the cut. Fading the Titans. Ballsy move, community.
I don't like it, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Steelers money line. Falcons, Panthers. Oh, it's gonna be Falcons.
We just backed the Titans. We have some Saints backers, the Browns, and the Giants on this video. You're welcome, world.
I better see the Saints money line in this parlay.
I don't know what it is, because usually I don't really get too much flack when I pick like an NFL side. Like some people like to comment, but like people are on my ass about the Titans this year. That's all I get is toast Titans up. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yo, I'm not. These colors don't run.
Well,
okay, I'm here,
dude. That's the power of the NFL, man. There's a lot of people that bet the NFL that aren't like they come around for this time of year, which is awesome. But like they don't understand that like the markets are going to be efficient at close, so there's equal value on a bad team. Like it's not like how could you bet a bad team? It's like, hey, idiot, the markets are efficient. It's equal value on both sides. Like they don't get that, you know. Whereas like in baseball season, our people they know it's not weird to take a bad team because a bad team's going to be equally as profitable. Right.
Plus, Toast, they have a week to think about how bad someone's bet was.
Oh, I know, dude.
No, that's true.
It makes it worse and worse. As baseball, you don't even remember what you bet 3 days ago.
Cast your votes. Step right up. Step right up here. Falcons win. Colts and Falcons. Bunch of risk takers out here, huh? This is going to hit again. And after I make fun of the community, they're going to hit. That's what we ripped on them last week, and they hit their shit.
I know.
All right, Packers, Browns. So they're on Packers there. Broncos, Chargers. They're on the Chargers. They didn't like my Broncos bet, so go ahead and take your L, community. Saints, Seahawks. You guys want Seahawks? I'm putting it in. Cowboys, Bears. Cowboys. Cast your votes. What's the third leg, community?
You know what's crazy? I realized Kyler Murray as an underdog is 32-17-2 against the spread. He's actually legit against the spread.
Is he even an underdog? This shit's a pick.
Yeah, he was, but yeah, it's gone to a pick now.
Nah, hold on. Let's get this dude out of here. Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Hey, it's Packers by a landslide.
John couldn't join us today?
No, he was just coming on for a special guest. We wouldn't be able to. If I don't do an NFL video, I need more time to like go through my stuff because people like want to hear my whole thoughts. Whereas on days where I upload a full NFL video, I don't need to go through it all again because they've already watched. But we couldn't do 4 today. We're at 12:42. Packers, Cowboys. So 49.
Did you get any emails?
Emails?
For the Adobe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's 2. Well, 2 that show promise. Second place was Cowboys money line. And second place of the last vote was Bucs, Texans. All right, what's the last leg of the community parlay, ladies and germs? Cast your votes.
Toast, every morning I wake up, my boy, we told him that your name is Toast, but every morning I wake up, he goes, you going to go talk to Waffles now?
Hell yeah. My son's really into Gatorade right now. He's like, can I get that alligator juice? I'm like, hell yeah, you can have some alligator juice.
Whenever John's on, I'm like, don't let the kids listen, please.
Any line movement while we've been live? Yeah, it looks like Denver got hit. It's mostly 2.5 now.
Beautiful.
Colts are now up to 6. Colts definitely took a lot of late money.
Are the Commanders really in the lead? Am I reading that right?
By the way, guys, in the Cincinnati-Minnesota game, well, this doesn't matter. So I didn't even read my bet off in that one because I have under 47.5, but like it's 42.5 now. What's the point of reading that?
Yeah.
Like, don't bet it now.
It's literally
Like, if anything, I might fuck around and middle it.
Dude, you were so close to that Denver Indy game.
Oh, I know.
That botched call on the. Oh man.
Don't get me started.
I know. I was furious.
Yeah,
My father-in-law was like, "Oh."
Colts money line, Falcons money line, Packers money line, and Dallas Cowboys money line. What is the payout?
Hold on, I gotta get to Dallas. I had Atlanta up. Dallas money line, make it 4 ways and a parlay.
Plus 345.
Colts community parlay going for 2 in a row. Colts money line, Falcons money line, Packers money line, Cowboys money line plus 345. Everyone, thanks for watching. Go enjoy your day. I'll be hanging out in the Discord watching football. College football lines for next week are opening, so if you're on the text alert list, keep an eye on your phone because I'm jumping on them this afternoon. They'll be opening on circa usually around 2:33. So everyone, have a good one.